Hi, good morning, Joe here at woollycottage.com. It's that time. We've done Dye Pot Thursday. I hope you've all enjoyed that video and managed to catch up with it. If not, and you're watching this now, go back, watch that first. So these, I'll pop the pictures up as I do them, as I go along, with each blend to remind you what it is I'm doing. We have got this blue and coral with lime green parrot. We have the Chinese mallard, and we have these strange birds that I still can't figure out what they are, but they look very much like an ostrich. They're not an ostrich. I can't remember the name of them. So yeah, we've got these ones. So when I did the dye pot last week for the parrot, we have this lighter blue because of the shading in the picture, and the picture's up here now. So we've got the lighter blue for the shading. We have this amazing sapphire blue, and then we've gone for this dusky orange colour because I thought anything brighter would be maybe a bit too much, but I can use highlights, and we'll go and have a look to see what stash we've got when we get around to doing this one. With that, I also dyed up some trial opal, and you saw me in the video throw in a little section of trial opal for each one. So these are all going to be sparkly this time round, and I really do love dyeing trial opal. It takes so quickly, you don't need to pre-soak it. It is really good when you're dyeing at home and you've still got some dye stock solution left in the pot and it's not completely translucent, because if you put your spoon in, you lift it out and it's got a pigment in there, then obviously you've not saturated all the dye into your fibre. If you put your spoon into the pot and you pull it out and it looks really clear, it runs like it's clear, but you can still see a tiny little shading. That water's fine. If you're concerned about it, just add some bicarbonated soda and that'll help neutralise that pH balance. It will fizzle and then it'll calm down, and that's it, fine. It can go into your sink without any problems if you're concerned. If not, stick it to one side, stick it in a dedicated water pot for citric acid water only, and use that in your garden around your herbaceous plants, your ones that ericaceous soils. Because obviously if you're like me and you're environmentally conscious, then you don't want to be using peat-based products. So yeah, you can use that in replacement of them. So your things like your hydrangeas, if you want to change the colour on them, your rhododendrons, your heathers, and your type of certain alpine trees like your spruces and things like that. I really appreciate that sort of thing because they're dropping those needles down anyway, and they've got an acidic content in there. So there you go, choke on geeky. So yeah, so that goes with the parrot. The next one gone for this one here. Now I've gone with an aubergine chocolate mix, okay, and it's got this sort of ruddy tones, which really, when you look at the picture, which I'll pop up now, it's got the brown has got like a ruddy sort of reddy colour in there. So I thought I'll go with a solid for this one, and because it's got the yellows and the rusty oranges, I thought they were a bit in your face, so I'm going to use them and create an art batt that will have a mild effect. I'm not going to do it in any type of gradients or anything like that. I'm just going to go back and forth over the top of this to create, when you spin it up, you'll have pops of colours that go all the way through, but with no rhyme or no reason. Okay, might make it a little bit mucky, but you should be fine because this is a solid colourway. You're not putting lots of colours all together on one blending board, on your drum card or your blending board, and they're just going here, there and everywhere. You've got a main colour, you've got a solid. All I want to do is create a highlight with this, okay? And then there's the trial opal that I put in with that, but that doesn't mean that I can't use a little bit of the orange trial opal from the parrot. Get you, Joe, utilising. Okay, so the last one was the Peking duck. So I went with a fluorescent pink, and then I went with this a lighter version of electric violet, and then into a paler shade of the sapphire blue, which you can see obviously in this picture here in the corner of the Chinese mallard or the Chinese Peking duck. So there we go. So those colours, and once again I did the trial opal in the same colours from the same dye pot. So as I was saying, when you're doing your dyeing and you've got still quite a bit of pigment in there, you won't take any more. Even if you add a little bit more citric acid and it doesn't seem to be going, get something like a trial opal. Even if you're not going to use it for that specific project, stick it in a pot with all your other bits of trial opal and your sparkly stuff, and squirrel it away for another time when you might actually use it. But it will help take out that dye out of that water. And it's a really good thing to do that. You can get Trilobal Bright and Triloba Extra Bright. Okay, you can use something like denier nylon fibre that you can get. You can use kapok, and you can use recycled plastic, which I'm not really a fan of, but if it's cheap and it's something you can use, I can't see why not. What else can you use? Woolly neps. Woolly neps are brilliant for using up my stock pots when I've got dye saturation still left inside the dye stock still left in my pot. I tend to use woolly neps, the fat ones and the smaller ones. You can get some merino slubs now, which are the really thick chunky ones, and it is just merino. It's not a mix of wools. It's not scraps being picked up off the factory floor from the process of making the rovings and stuff like that, which is generally what the neps are. The non-discriminatory, they don't tell you what's in it, but you can buy merino slubs, which are perfect for doing, I've got the hiccups, I've just had a cup of coffee, which are perfect for doing like these. Let's see if I can get it off without, or take it out without causing too much of a riot. So what I do with these are woolly neps. These are the tiny little ones, okay? And to make this up, I will get a bundle. Usually there's usually about 50 grams worth I will do, because I've always got this stuff lying around in natural form, and I'll get about 50 grams and I'll split it up into 10-gram bundles, and I've got a little dedicated enamel pot that I use for doing this sort of thing, and I get myself a little tea strainer. So I'll put the dye into the pot. Don't need a lot because it's only a little fibres, and I'll add in my first 10 grams, and I'll wait for them to soak up all the dye as much as they can. Then I'll sift them out and stick them in a bowl with some warm water, and then I'll repeat that action with different coloured dye stock solutions in the pots, and I'll do that another 4 times so I'll get different colours. And then once they're all dried, I just mix them together. I leave them out to air dry. It takes a couple of days, unless I can put them outside in the back garden, and I just mix them up, and I end up creating loads of different coloured neps, which are brilliant for felting artists. That's generally who buys these woolly neps, felting artists, because you can use them for little flowers in your landscape pictures and things like that. So there you go, one top tip. I'm full of tips today. Don't know what it is, maybe it's because it's Monday. Right, so we're going to go over the other side, and I'm going to go with the first one, which was the mallard. Actually, no, we'll go for this one, the first one here. We'll go for the parrot. That's what we're going to be working on today. So I'll catch you over there, and we'll go and rootle through my stash to see what we've got to put this together. Right, so we're on the other side, the serious side of the room. So we have got our fibre. So I'm just going to split these into half, because I'm going to try and make some fibre packs this week with this stuff. We'll see how we go. And I'm not going to use all of this, because I want to try and save some of this for that sort of weird ostrich paradise bird. So I'm going to put that down there. There's a piece missing. There it is. And then we've got this amazing sapphire blue. So I'm just going to squirrel this to one side, put that there and those there, stick them in my basket. I'm going to split this as we usually do, and then I can start thinking about my colours, and we'll grab the picture so we can see what I need. Now I do know that I need some lime green. Now I don't specifically have lime green, but I do have some citric olive, though I have got one that's very similar to a lime green. Hold on a second. So I'm just going to pull this apart, split it just off centre down the middle, put my smaller section to one side. I'll just braid this up because it's going in the bag anyway. So there will be a blend set available for this parrot. There we go, braid this up. How come your braid always wants to twist around when you're working with it? I don't know. Right, so we get that out of the way, onto the orange, stick that with the trilobal. There we go. So on the picture we want at least lime grains or citric green. We've got the terracotta or coral in there as well, and then we've got the sapphire blue. So let me have a look to see what I have got in my stash. Now I can do the green, and I can do two different versions of the green. we've got a darker and a lighter version. So because I haven't got much of it on the actual wools, I'm going to stick some of this to one side. So I've got 2 different shades of that. Now I need a lamp, a blue. Now let's have a look. I have got different colours of blue in here. I've got darker blue. I do have a nice sapphire blue, but it's a dark sapphire blue, and I think it's actually quite nice, that. What else have we got in here? Oh, here we go. Is that a bit more? There we go. I think we'll go with this one because it's a bit louder, a bit brighter, and I've got plenty of it. But I can use some of this darker blue as well for the shading. I think I might do that, and then I can have some sort of might do some sort of gradient. See if we can get a gradient going on instead of hodgepodge. So that's 4 colours. 4 shades already, and we need to now delve into the orangey tones. Let's have a look over here. See, there we go. We've got the oranges here. Now that's practically the same orange as what I've got on the wool already. If you have a look, there we go. They're practically the same. So maybe, but then I've got a merino in something very similar. So I think I'll stick with the merino. And what have we got up here? That's a lighter shade, but I haven't got a lot of that. What else have we got up here? Oh, we have got a dash of this light peach. So it looks like we've got a few colours going on. 1, 2, 3. We've got 6 of those colours going on there. And then maybe going over to that down there and see what I can find as in blended fibres. So I do have this. What else have we got in there? Nothing that screams out at me, because some of them have got purples in. Hold on, you've fallen on the floor, mate. So I think now this will save me using up doing bamboo. This has got Tweedy viscose in it, okay, and it's got mulberry silk in it, and it's a merino blend. So I can use just a dash of this. I think just a dash to create highlights that will transition all the way through, because the coral on there is quite a nice colour that'll actually hold quite well, I think, with a bit more, especially with the blues. Just looking, she's looking, she's feeling like she needs something else in there. So I'm going to just do a dash of that. I'm just going to peel a little piece off from my blend sets and put that over there. I don't have any dark blues. I've got teals. I don't have any light blues. Is there any white in there? I could add in, I've got some tussar silk over there. I could add in some natural tussar silk to give the highlights, because there is dashes of brights in there. So where the light's reflected off. So I could go with a bleached tussar silk. And I think that's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go with some bleached tussar silk. And I'll just show you the difference. Oh, there's a little something there. Okay, so this is just natural tussar silk. That's extra bleached tussar silk, and look at the difference of it. So I'm going to go with this one. I don't need a lot of it. Actually, wrong one. She's such a prat sometimes. Right, this is the extra bleached tussar silk. That was alpaca. That's the wrong one, Joe. And that is unbleached tussar silk. Completely different shades, same fibres, just one's been bleached, one hasn't. So I'm going to go with this. So I'm just going to take a little bit off. You don't need a lot when it comes to silks. Less goes a long way. So I'm just going to peel that off. So what we need to do now is get the scales on. Take out my trial oval at the bottom. Wait for that to settle. Right. So that's 9 grams just with that on its own. That's the roving that we need. I'm going to put in my Tweedy viscose and silk merino blend in with that. Then we've got Twisted Silk, and I've just found this which has given me the light blues that I really need, and it's going to give you a little bit extra. I'm not going to do too much of this, just the same as what we've got with that orange blend, just to bring them both together, help tie that in. So I'm going to put that there. There we go. I'll just stick that to one side for now. So I do have, what I'm going to do is try and create equal lengths of all of these, because we're at 73 on this already, and I don't want my blend sets being too long and heavy. So I'm going to just split these. That's one. Try and do them the same length of each other and see how that goes. Right, where are we at on this? There's a nice length there. Put that to one side, and if I need any more I can add that to the art batt, but at the moment I just want to weigh this out with the having to split it with a blend set in mind. Okay, then there's the darker blue. Oh, set that to one side, and then we've done the coral, so put that there, and then we've got the bright orange. Well, it's more of a dusky orange, it's not that bright really at all. There we go. So we're going to put this on top of here. Two, 5. Right, that's it at 142, which I think is just a nice weight for putting on for the Patreon batts. So we're going to go over here and we're going to go and get these blended up. Okay, so I'm just going to move my drum carder over so I can get into it and get the clamp on. Move that one out of the way. Right, that's that clamped in place. It shouldn't move, but who knows? Right, so I'm going to split these up into groups of 3, and the roving, the hand-dyed roving, I'm just going to do in splits of 2, but I'm going to use these for my base colours. So I want that green first, there. Then I want the next green, which is the darker version of the citric colours, in there. Put that there. And then I'm going to go down the blue route. So I'm going to go lighter blue next, because these look well together. And I'll show you in a second. I'll actually tilt you down. Oh, there you go. So you've got these greens going into this navy blue. And this one, let me see if I can just turn my light off, because my light here is really not working at all. It's not doing the job that I need it to do. Hold on a minute. There we go, that's better. You can see actually the colours that I'm working with. That's better. So you've got the 2 different shades of green which look really well with this more brighter version of this blue. And then I'm going to put the dark blue in next, because then it pairs up with the mid-tone blue. Then I'm going to go with the darker orange next to that, because they're both bold colours, very striking, so they'll definitely pair up nicely together. And then we have got the softer corally peach colour, which will look really great up against that one. So there we go. So we've got 6 different shades, 3 colours, 6 shades in total. Then we're going to use some of this, which I'll just stick to one side, and we'll pull them into 3s, put them over there. Then we've got the Twisted Silk, and again split them into 3s, put that there. Then we've got the Silk Tweedy Viscose blend, and I'll just pop that there. And then we have got the roving, which I'm just going to split into 2. That is it. 2 sections through the middle. And really, when you look at these colours together, they're very, very summery. Almost verging on a autumn twist colour sort of feel. So you've got like the bright blue skies of autumn on a really good day, but then you've got the oranges and the greens in there. And it does have a slightly autumnal feel to it. and then you have got the the trilobal. But the trilobal, I'm not going to sit on each other. I'm going to swap over the colourways. So we're going to get going on this. Try and lift you up so you can actually see what I'm doing. Okay. I'll bring you in closer when I get a little bit further on. But I just want you to see how I'm putting these all in. So I'm going to start over this end with my peach base. Now, you may be concerned about how you're going to fit all 6 colours on here. Best way to approach this is to get your last colour over here and grab that and put it straight over to the other side. I don't know why it's clean. It's all been cleaned. It's still having a little whinge to itself. So bear with me with my my squeaky drum carder. Right. So the next one's the darker shade of that olive. So I'm going to put that there. Oh. Then add on the darker orange on there. Crikey, that's really noisy. Then the dark blue, we're going to put that on there and start transitioning through to the middle. And then this blue here. Now, by doing it like that, I have ended up with a little bit of a gap there where there's no wool, but I'm not too bothered about that, because now I know that when I do the next layer of these colours, I want them to come a little bit further over. So I'm not too bothered about that. It's not upsetting at all. Now I'm going to use the orange first, and I'm just going to hand paint on the back drum. Now, I put most of it over this side, but I've let it kiss that side. And I'm going to do the same thing with this light blue. I'm going to come from the light blue over this way. I'm going to let it kiss over on the orange side, then I'm going to put the majority of it back over this way. Okay, now in trilobal, I'm going to split this into 3 sections, if I can find the beginning end. So open that up. 1, just a dash of the orange. Don't need a lot of that, we've got a lot of that going on already. And then this blue here. So again, I'm just going to paint this on from this side. And the lighter blue, paint over from this side. Okay, and then the orange is only a little tiny flyaway piece. I'm just going to put that all over. Now I'm going to go in with my touch of silk to help bring down these colours, just to flatline them just ever so much, but at the same time is giving them a neutral dimension. There we go. It looks a little bit higgledy-piggledy, but it will make sense. So I'm going to just now get my hand-dyed roving. So far you should have done 1 layer of your rovings. Your second layer is your orange. Your third layer is your blue. Your fourth layer is your trilobal, and then your 5th layer is that. And we're going to now put this layer on, which is 6 layers. And then it works out that roughly you're doing, when it comes to how many processes that you're doing, should be 12 layers altogether. No, 12 and an extra 5, 12, 17 layers or 17 processes that you're doing as you're working with this. 17 steps. There we go. So I'm just going to open this up just so I know it's free of any sticky bits. Now I'm going to start with the blue over on the green side, because the last one I've got is the orange, and I'm quite happy for the orange to stay on top of the orange, then the mid blue being on the blues in the middle. So this is probably the most complementary for that colour, which I think looks better. So I'm going over that side on top of the green initial first layer. Now I'm on the blue. And there's the orange. So in essence, you have got two different types of gradient. You've got a green and powder blue, then it goes into the sapphire blue, and then it goes into the orange. So even though you've done milled dyed wools, that you're working with your hand dyed wools to help bulk out what you've got, then in essence you're still creating that gradient of an art batt, okay, but just in two different concepts, but still following the same pattern. Right, so now we know that we need to bring these greens over a little bit more. Okay, so I mean, you could, when you get to this stage, to make sure that you do actually get the colours so you don't end up with a strip of fibre that's missing, just put your blues on first, the central ones, put them on first. Now that you're at this stage. There we go. Now put your green on the other side. And then your darker green. Okay, and then followed by your orange. And then your peachy coral. Get your carder. Just pack those fibres down a little bit, and at the same time clean off your litter of any fibres that haven't been collected. So like last time, you grab your orange, and I want to start over this side. Just kiss over on the orange to the green side, and then back over the blue and orange. Get my lighter one and go over the green, come all the way across, let it kiss the orange, and then back over to the green side. There we go. Then get my trilobal. All the way over there and back again. And then the lighter one over on the green and over into the blue and back again. Okay, get your tissue silk or whatever fibre you want to use at home. There we go. And then last piece of roving, this one again, start with the orange side over on top of the orange. And then there goes the blue. And the lighter blue over the top of the green. I want to pack this down and pick these up off the front carder with glitter. go. And then the last layer now. So back over here with this green. Now, we're done with being packed down a little bit more. Next green. The lighter blue. The darker blue. The dark orange. The peachy coral colour. One more pack down. Paint on the orange. Look at that now, it looks really pretty, doesn't it? Paint on the orange, over the blue, and quickly let that kiss on the other side so it incorporates those colours together. Again, the light blue, the spirulina in it, over this side. I'm going to quickly run it over towards the orange and then back over to the other side. Okay, so we get our blue tri-logo over the orange and over the blues. And back again. And then the light version over, oh, not that one, over the green, over the blue, and back over the green again. And the little bit of orange that we've got left over, we want that just to kiss all along the edge. And there we have, oh, nearly forgot, just a silk. Just clean this one quicker while you're here. Get your doffer. Now when I'm doing taking my bats off, I don't peel it all off in one big go. Partly because it's just not something I've ever done. So when everybody ever asks me, how do you take your bat off? I've always had this phrase and I've used it for years. Grab your troll by its hair and do the roly-poly. So when I'm taking it off, I get my doffer and I run it through. And then if you do it right and you've blended right, you should end up with a tear on this side. Don't get me wrong, sometimes it just wants to take from wherever it wants to. But the majority of the time, as I'm pulling up, the fibres come from this side of the doff bar. And I do that and then tilt up on that side to pull that end off. Then you end up with this, what I call the troll's hair. So I'll grab the troll by her hair, roll it, tuck it in, and roly-poly all the way around the drum carder. Okay, then I'll give it another turn, because if you look at the back, there's still fibres on there. So by doing this, okay, means I can give it another turn and I can pick up those stray fibres on my drum carder at the same time, meaning there's no waste left on there. Okay, so here we go. The end result. Now that's nice. That's very well, that's a job well done. So we have this three colours, 6-tone gradient on there, and then in between those layers you have just a standard gradient roving that you've put in there. You're going to flip it over, fold it in, fold it in, and I'm going to do it from the orange inwards because the orange is really quite loud. There we go. So you've got the 2 shades of olive going in there instead of the lime green. I thought olive was a safe colour to go for, plus I didn't have any lime green in. So it just goes to show that choosing a picture, which I will pop up, oh, no, I can't pop it up again, I can only pop up once. Choosing a picture, okay, just because it says that you need a lime green doesn't mean that a different shade very similar to it won't do. So like the citricy sort of olive colours, or greens, will work just as well for doing this sort of thing. It's about adapting, it's about looking what you've got in your blend stash or in your stash of rovings that you've bought just for a treat, or you're not sure what to do with them. Sometimes they make for a really good alternative, okay? So there we go, we've got the different shades of blues in there. We've picked out white highlights from the Tussar Silk. We've got different shades of the orange in there. You've got the deep orange, and then you've got the light orange. You've got the bright sapphire blue, but then we've gone with the darker blues as well, and then the really light blues in there. And I definitely think that I've captured the essence of a parrot on that bat. So this will be available on the website in a fortnight's time on the last video blend, and the pack will be with it as well if you want to follow along and watch this video and make the bat up yourself on your drum card or at home. Alternatively, you can do the same process on your blending board and make mini bats, doing the exact same thing. Only difference is your hand manipulating the fibres on there. Okay, so that's actually a vote that's coming up this week. If you watch out for that, I'll be putting a vote up for you to say. We've been doing this now since January, the end of January, or middle of January is when I first started off the Patreon. And I think we're roughly looking at 6 months of doing art bats. Now, would you like, and the vote will come up for you to put your answer down or your suggestion, would you like me to change just for a few months into using a blending board and making rollags and mini bats, doing the same process as this? But I know a lot of you at home do not have drum carders, still saving up for one, or it's just an expense that you just can't afford at the moment. Would you like me to do it on blending boards up into Christmas? And we'll do that if you want to. So that vote will be up later on in the week, so watch out for that, okay? A little pop-up. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video for Storyteller Art Bats. I hope you enjoyed this one. Doesn't it look slightly summery, but the cross of autumn in there as well? It definitely has that vibe, doesn't it? So again, thank you very much. Don't forget, even though it's a private video for you guys to link to, it really does help if you hit that like, thumbs up button on the video. Leave comments still helps as well. You take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you next Monday. Bye for now.